more spread out, and they are also around the corner. And I believe we have News Chopper up giving us some aerial views here of just how widespread the protesters are. Still loud, still chanting tonight. Now, we heard from one of those protesters earlier this morning when it was a little bit calmer, who talked about, and we're seeing some movement here with the police. They're moving down J.C. Nichols in formation toward a crowd of protesters right now. Now, these police officers, some of them do have gas masks and face shields, but the riot shields are back here next to where I am standing, and you may have seen a water bottle thrown in their direction. That has been happening all afternoon, and a spokesperson for the police department tells us that some of them have been frozen water bottles, injuring at least one police officer this afternoon. So we just saw a line of officers moving toward the crowd in front of Chewy's and Rye there, and more water bottles being thrown in their direction. Now, we spoke to some protesters earlier today about why they're here, and we have a sound from one of them explaining what he wants to see change.
I would like to see people in positions of power being held accountable by other people in those same positions, and also people who supervise them. It's all about accountability. Things will not change unless you hold your peers accountable for their actions.
Now, we're keeping an eye on the crowd here again after a group of police officers started making their way toward the crowd on J.C. Nichols here. And earlier this afternoon, the Mayor Quinton Lucas, came by, and he's been here for several hours talking to protesters, talking to police. And he said that, after hearing about some property damage overnight and some of the issues that protesters late at night caused, that he hopes that people aren't distracted by the real purpose of this gathering tonight. And this is what he said.
When you come out here, think about what we're actually trying to fight for and work for. And what we're trying to fight for and work for isn't actually just causing drama, particularly causing drama in something that's not your neighborhood. And if you come out here and you're starting all types of trouble, you're not just tarnishing, right, George Floyd's memory. You're tarnishing the message that so many people, so many black women and black men, that so many people that are trying to make change right now are doing.
And again, a lot of the people that are here tonight brought out because of the outrage over the death of George Floyd, who was killed in Minneapolis during a interaction with a police officer. But it's not just that. I mean, we've been hearing from people yesterday and today that there have been countless incidents like this year after year that keep that anger, that pain, that hurt going. And some even saying that they're concerned about community police relations here in Kansas City and incidents that they would like to see justice for. I asked the mayor about this, and this is what he had to say about that.
We need to make sure we find justice for anybody who's had a negative interaction with our police department, with any police department. And something that I appreciated actually was that from the time this happened, right, the Kansas City Police Department, I believe on Monday, actually talked about their own excessive force policies, the way that they'll actually look after these situations, the type of follow-ups that they'll have. That's necessary for us. We need to have a further conversation with the Board of Police Commissioners where we're talking about what that next step looks like.
And right now, quite a bit of tension as everyone has their eyes on the police officers now to see their response to the crowd, and eyes on the crowd as well, as some have been more, should I say, active than others. Some have been described as instigators, and so quite a bit of tension here tonight. Kelly.
Bianca, I know we heard the mayor more than once urge those protesters to be peaceful. You're right there in the middle of it. That's a large crowd. How do you feel? What is your sense? Are most being peaceful, or are there a lot of, I guess you just called them instigators?
Yes.